So everyone, welcome to the soft opening of the Emerald City Museum. Yay! Our reopening, as you probably know, a year ago we tried to open. We were open for about 5 days in March, and with half the room. We've really done a lot. I'm really proud of Richard for everything that's happened this year. So we're happy to be here again still in this beautiful building and this beautiful elder building with all of us, with the OG building. So I'm going to introduce Richard. Just a few housekeeping things. You should be wearing a mask. Please give up your seat to an elder if it looks like that needs to happen. And please don't eat or drink near the displays. If anyone's holding a drink, they need to know where it is at all times. We can't have anything spilled in this room with the documents that we have, the precious documents. So my name's Annie Waters, and I'm Richard's partner. This is Richard Jurgensen coming toward you. Richard?
Can I take this off?
Yeah, you can take that off. So Richard is like the kind of person who loves this so much that he buys things in the middle of the night on the internet without asking my permission. And but the good news is I find out in the morning, and I don't have a regret at all. So Richard, there you go.
Okay, I had to write everything down because I didn't want to forget anything. So thank you again. Here we are with this current exhibit. We're excited to be showcasing and celebrating the 50-year history of the legendary prototype with memorabilia spanning the last 5 decades. Over in the corner there. Meet the founder and inventor, Phil Jurgensen, and team. What a ride it's been. Phil, could you and the team stand up and be recognized? We are also showcasing the Traveling Hemp Museum. Amy Fisher and her team have curated this fantastic educational exhibit with hemp memorabilia from around the world. And Amy, could you identify you and your team? Teresa?
Whoa, hold on.
Okay, there's,
Carry this with me.
well, I was just going to
Okay.
give you a shout out there. And we're also happy to be showcasing local artists in the Counterculture Art Gallery, many of which are for sale at the gift shop. Please help support our local art community. We're all in this together. Our mission is to continue to collect and preserve and exhibit memorabilia detailing the story of cannabis in the culture of peace and integrity that grew alongside this sacred plant, not only in Mendocino County, the home of the Emerald Triangle, but beyond, through use of exhibits, educational lectures, films, writings, and oral histories. The Cannabis Culture Museum will assist the public in understanding the diverse and complex role that cannabis has played in our culture and history. Thank yous are necessary here. A big shout out to local entrepreneurs Pete Swanton and Steve Marston for generously allowing us to use this incredible building for this exhibit. Please support their projects, Flying Dog Pizza and Vinyl and the Willits Playhouse. Also, I'm grateful to the many worker bees who have created the beauty that you see around you and have pollinated our community with the news of this museum. Must mention, we have a number of contributors, not only in money and materials and art. I want to thank those donors and artists. You have touched me deeply with your generosity. I also want to thank all who have given to this project and support from when they first saw this collection. A few of you have in its raw stages. There's a laundry list of the kinds of support you all have helped contribute and offered. Some of you offered your advice, and some of you have offered portions of your own collection. And so with this archive, with this collection, we can all find our past, our history, and our roots. Lastly, this exhibition would not have happened were it not for the multi-talented Annie Waters, my muse and the love of my life. Thank you, Annie, for giving me permission to go for it. Welcome all. And with that, I would like to welcome our guest Tony Serra, and his son Ivory, who is going to be introducing him. Is Ivory in the house? Yes.
Thank you very much. Well, it's an honor to be amongst, the elders in such a great environment that, it makes sense in Willits to have a significant place dedicated to not only the advocacy of marijuana, but at the same time, the preservation of such great materials. And, I guess a lot of you grew up with this around you, so it's not that much different than an everyday, life when you come home. But, to preserve this for future generations, it's very important. And I feel humbled to be here, but thank you for, giving me the opportunity to say a few words. We're here, I guess, to celebrate many things, and amongst them is, cannabis and, the use of it. But, there are a few things that, when it comes down to, cannabis laws and reform, and many of you are part of that. I'd like to introduce my father, Tony Serra, who has been fighting for that cause for, more than half of his life. With respect to individuals that you see in the walls here, Dennis Perone, Judy Berry, they're the first. High Times, for instance, he was in High Times in 1985 and 2005. So, there's many things I think that can be learned from all of you, and I'm, like I said, honored to be amongst you. And I'd like to say, welcome my father, Tony Serra, and, hear a few words.
All right.
I'm sorry?
Can I read your lips?
You can take your mask off.
All right.
Yeah.
Firstly, I convey my deep respect for all of you and what you've done, not just this event or this museum, but for decades in terms of being activistic, both in the realm of legalizing marijuana and beyond that in the larger political dimension. I deeply respect you. It's my privilege to be here, and I thank you, all of you, for the invitation. I'm going to talk, I'm told, twice, 15 minutes at the beginning and then 15 minutes toward the end. So what I propose to do for my first alleged oration is probably, as I have always been, a little bit off center. That is, what I'm going to do may not be what you're expecting. At any rate, let me start like this, and I'll weave it into the theme that I'm desirous of producing. This is Dylan Thomas. In my mind, the greatest poet, or at least one of them, that he was Welsh, as you recall, and came to the United States, et cetera, et cetera. And the poem is, "Do not go gentle into that last good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they go not gentle into that last good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that last good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, on that sad height, curse me. Now, with your fierce tears, I pray, do not go gentle into that last good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Well, obviously it stands for a number of things in different dimensions. I'm 86, I'll be 87 this year. I carry a full load of potential cases in reality, cases that have to go to jury trial, everywhere, obviously, from death penalty to cannabis, where it's seldom prosecuted, but still is. So as you get older, you have a tendency, and I call it the first level of senility, to be, how would I call it, empathetic. See it from the opposition's perspective and maintain the balance between the adversary in you and the idealist in you. And it's easy under those circumstances to compromise. We compromise as old age approaches, as we see, as Dylan Thomas calls, the dying of the light. It's easy to forgive, to forget, to be sentimental, to be nostalgic, to be, ultimately compromised. And so what I say, what I have learned is maintain the beauty and the strength and the courage of the ideology that you fostered when you were young. Recognize that that is the greatest, gift that you have been given. Do not compromise. Thus, as Dylan Thomas says, rage, rage at the dying of the light. That means fight it at every level, fight it. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up. Don't compromise. Don't, empathize too much with the opposition. Don't identify their position as something meaningful and balanced. Trump is an asshole. Nothing can redeem him in respect to the, projection of hopeful balance in a political system. So we still have, ideological foes to fight. We still have battles to win. Be that semantic warrior I tell myself that youth beget. Do not, surrender. Fight it. Don't deny it. Don't compromise it. Be activistic. I salute in every one of you that spirit. Thank you. Then I have more poetry to read next. Different poem.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming out and being a part of our project. Richard and I have been talking about this for a few years at CUPS, about trying to get all of our cannabis memorabilia and hemp history together, and I'm glad we could finally do this for everybody. What we really want to do is just show everybody how much work we put in as far as the public, and see if we can get public reaction to have them come in and visit and hopefully get a much better understanding of our community. So I really appreciate all the help. We have lots of hemp history for you to see, as well as prototype history and cannabis culture history. We have artifacts dating back to the 1700s as far as historical documents and fabrics, and up to about the 1960s. And we really hope everybody enjoys what we put together, and we would appreciate any feedback on how we can improve it. But thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Tony, that was very inspiring. Thank you so much. Just want everyone to enjoy yourselves and spend some time wandering around and looking at the exhibits. And not only do we have several hundred-year-old memorabilia over here, but there's some fun cultural history over here in the prototype corner. I encourage you to go and look in the glass cases and be entertained. And to meet and greet one another. It's been a long, challenging year, this last year for all of us, and it's feels really good to be here amongst all of you, not looking and seeing you on a little flat screen, but in the flesh. And I know many of you have come great distances from the Sierras and from the Bay Area and points beyond, our neighbors to the north. So wonderful. We are family, and please don't be shy about introducing yourselves if you see someone that you don't know. And we're a small group here today, going to be much larger Tuesday as we open up to the greater community. But today's for us, so please enjoy.
Thank you, Richard.